Hi, my name is Michael. I'm the creator of PeptideCalc.io, and I just want to thank you for purchasing the app. This video will serve as a general tutorial on how to use it, and we'll go through all the major functionality so that you feel comfortable using the app. The app can be used for calculating doses, saving reusable protocols, building schedules, logging doses, tracking your inventory, reviewing trends and metrics over time. It does a lot. There's more to it, but at a high level, that's the functionality. The app was designed to be very intuitive and move from left to right through the pages at the bottom. So for this demonstration, we'll use a peptide vial as our medication type, but there's many other medications to choose from, which I'll outline in other videos. So we'll start with choosing our syringe type. U100 is the most common syringe, so it defaults to that. But we support U50, U40. U40 is a veterinarian syringe, so you'll get a message about the calibrations are going to be different. Most people won't use that. And then we also support U30, which is smaller. But those tinier syringes can be helpful when your dose is very small and you want to save on plastic by using a smaller syringe. Next, we'll choose the amount of water that we want to put in our peptide. You can generally fit up to 3 or a little over 3 mLs in most standard peptide vials. I like to use 2. The only difference is just how much fluid that you're willing to inject at one time. For this demonstration, we'll choose 10 milligrams for our peptide content, but enter whatever peptide content is in your particular vial, and then choose the dose amount that you want to choose. So we'll choose 1 milligram as our dose. You'll see that it tells us to draw 20 units to get 1 milligram. But you can also change syringe units if you know exactly how many units you want to do, and that'll tell you how much water. So it does inverse math for you. So say you know that you want to draw 30 syringe units, it'll tell you you actually need 3 mLs of water. So once you've determined that your dose looks accurate and you're ready to save, go ahead and hit the top right button to save it, and that'll bring you to the Save and Schedule screen. From here, we can name the protocol. You can optionally name your peptide medication names, but I suggest just using the protocol name since it's the first class agent that we use throughout the app. But if you do have a blend or some kind of multi-ingredient medication, go ahead and add the peptide names for clarity. From here, you can just hit save, or you can optionally set up schedules, half-life, or inventory, or notes. So you can enable create schedule, but you don't have to do any of this now. You can just hit save to save your protocol. Now I have my Reconstitution protocol saved here at the top. If I click on the badge, I can see subsections like scheduling it, log dose, or medication remaining. Here I can hit the plus sign in the medication remaining section to add how many vials I have. So I'm going to add 10 vials. And then every time I log a dose, it's going to subtract from that inventory that we've just added. So now I'm thinking it would be good to schedule this. Let's go ahead and click on the 3 dots, go to schedule. You can hit the plus sign. And if you just click on the top Reconstitution schedule, it'll auto name it for you. So here you'll have our start and end dates. You can choose how many months you want it to run for, or any specific time frame, and how frequently you want to administer this medication. So in this case, it's logging daily, but we'll schedule it for something extremely custom. This is one of the strongest features of this app is the scheduler. You can get extremely nuanced with how you set up your protocols. If you want to dose it multiple times a day, you can just add multiple times there. I'm going to remove that. Let's move on down to cycling. Cycling just means you want to cycle on and off your medication at any given time. And you can see all of this previewed in the scheduled preview window if you scroll down. So you can specify weeks or months, and you can see it reflected as you play with the settings. So often many peptide users will cycle on a peptide for a month or two and then cycle off to kind of let their body wash out. Another option is titration. Titration just means to start at one dose and go to another dose. So a lot of times users will start at a small dose and work their way up to a larger dose over time. There are help menus as you go along, but I'll make a separate video just for titration since there is a lot of nuance here. Titrating a dose has many advanced features, so I'll make a separate video on this. I'm just showing that there are different cadences. You can step by whatever dose amount you want, and then there's also offset settings. And we have a titration preview window, just like scheduling, so you can kind of see what your doses would look like over time. We even darken the doses so you can see as the calendar gets darker, your doses are increasing in value. And there's notifications, so you can get notified when a cycle is about to start or when a cycle is about to end. But you do want to have settings reminders enabled. just to get notifications for any dose that's coming up. And you'll see I chose a rose color for my schedule. And once you've chosen your color, that color is represented throughout the app on all the sheets. So you can easily identify protocols or their schedules by that same color. So once you have your protocol and a schedule set up for it, you basically just let it run. Now, often you'll be visiting the schedules page, which shows the calendar. From here, you can log doses or see the doses that you've already logged. I'm going to choose to log one of these doses. So this is the log dose screen. From here, you can update either the syringe units or the amount of medication, and you'll see both of them will update interactively. You can choose the syringe type here, and you'll see that the syringe changes. Your administration site and the injection site will change depending on what type of administration you're doing. So like, for example, for oral, you're not going to see all the same injection sites as you would sub-Q or intramuscular. You can specify the when taken, but it should default to the current time, so you should be able just to hit log dose to save it. Or you can click on scheduled dose times. You can also change the status action from here or by swiping on any log dose. Say if you want to mark it missed or skipped and you didn't actually log it. Now at the top, I'll click on the Active tab. Active just shows us all our active schedules at a glance. Here you can see nuanced details about the schedule, when it was started, your log history. And from the log history page, you can choose all protocols if you want to see everything you've logged recently. Or you can just specify a single protocol. Log history is going to be tied to the protocol, the medication itself, rather than the schedule, because schedules can be paused or deleted or recreated at any given time. You can export log history from here or from settings. And finally, we'll move to Insights. Insights is a newer feature, but from here you can choose metrics or levels. You can see the dosage percentage or the amount of medication in your system at any given time, assuming that you're logging consistently and accurately. And then anything on the right-hand side of the graph that's kind of the darker shade, that's projected. So if you were to do your scheduled doses on schedule, it's going to project what your future medication levels will be in your body. So you can change the different time frames. You can click the bottom right of the graph to go into landscape mode to get a bigger view or a wider view of the same chart. And you can click different time frames. Your window might not have some symptoms at the top. I'm still working on that feature at this time. Here I'm just in landscape and then toggling back. If you don't have half-life defined for your medication, you'll need to add that to protocols to see your medication show up on that list. Now we'll go to Biometrics, where we track a number of trends. So we have full Apple Health integration. I'm going to click on New Goal, and that way I'll be notified when one of my metrics achieves that goal. So here I'm going to do Add Entry. So you can manually add entries, but because we support Apple Health, anytime Apple Health automatically syncs, it'll update the biometrics data automatically. But just for this example, I'm manually entering one, and it's going to show that the goal was achieved. So you can see trends for any of the drop-downs from this drop-down menu. And you can choose different time frames. Again, this dashboard also works in landscape, so you can click on the landscape button. And you can change different medication types, so you can see dose overlays for that specific medication, or insights just for that medication, how it pertains to any of the biometrics like weight or lean body mass or your sleep, etc. And lastly, I'm going to click into settings and then customizations. And you can change the theme color and accents throughout your entire app, which I rather like. Makes it pretty fun to just kind of make this app your own. That's all I have for this quick overview video, but I'll make additional future videos on some of the more important points throughout the app and subcategories. Thank you so much for downloading the app, and I really appreciate your questions and feedback. Go ahead and send me feedback anytime through settings. If you run into issues or you have just feature requests or have ideas on how to improve it. Thank you so much.